The biggest opponent you can have is actually yourself. And if you're able to overcome those challenges, those mental obstacles, you're able to actually portray your biggest strengths and abilities on the court, because that's what you want. Sometimes your mind plays with you and you're not able to perform as well as you perform, for example, on the practice sessions on the same day, and then all of a sudden that changes because you have so much distractions, thoughts, things that are influencing your on-court behavior.
And you're constantly pushing them out.
Yes, you are. Yeah, but I would say I don't think the right way is to suppress those emotions. I think it's important is to actually encounter them, try to embrace them, be aware of their presence, but also try to have your convictions of self-belief and strength and confidence stronger than those negative thoughts.
The #1 tennis player in the world, Novak Djokovic, sharing his advice on how to stay focused through some of the most intense sporting competitions in the world. He's won 9 Grand Slam tournaments in his career, including a 3rd title at Wimbledon this year, and he heads to the U.S. Open next week as the top seed in the men's competition. Off the court, Djokovic is a philanthropist. For years, his foundation has tried to help the most vulnerable children born both in Djokovic's home country, Serbia, and around the world. And yesterday, he was appointed a Goodwill Ambassador for UNICEF, and his foundation entered into a new partnership with the World Bank to promote early childhood development. Afterwards, I got a chance to ask him about his family, his career, his foundation, and why it's so crucial to help children at the very earliest stages of their lives.
It's important to actually dedicate your time, your attention to your child, not underestimate the fact that if your child cannot speak, maybe up to a certain age, that the child does not understand you, they just express themselves in a different way. So through this early child development, we've been trying to make a positive impact in Serbia through our foundation, and this event is such an important and serious event for our foundation, for our country in general, because we're partnering with the World Bank as one of the strongest partners we can have, but also I'm becoming today a worldwide global ambassador of UNICEF family, so I'm very honored to have that role.
Can you think, I mean, you grew up in Serbia during the war. You had a sort of unique experience because you're playing tennis and you're traveling to a certain extent. Can you think of concrete ways in which people in your life, friends of yours, other kids, you saw that firsthand adverse effects of the war on how they developed?
Yes, I've experienced that myself, obviously, and I think because of the personal experience, many people can relate to what I went through, and I can relate to what many children are experiencing right now. So having those circumstances in my very early childhood allows me to appreciate things in life more now, and allows me to actually, with that knowledge and experience in life, have a better approach to the mission, and to the quest of helping these children have the right that they deserve. That's the right for education that nobody can take away from them, to grow and play in a very stimulative, safe settings and environments, but still while caring and respecting others and their society.
You started this foundation, you're doing this work now. Do you think about the fact that you're going to spend most of your life not being a professional tennis player? Like, the thing that you do better than basically anyone in the world is going to be taken away from you by age?
Well, it's a good question, actually, because most of the athletes get overconsumed by what they do. So, sometimes you just lose track of, envisioning your future. What is your future after tennis? Because fortunately, all of us athletes have a certain durability. Is exactly, the time is ticking, and well, I've been trying obviously to take care of my body and stay as healthy as possible and play as long as possible. But I'm also aware of the fact that that's not going to go forever, and that I'll have a long time after that to to do something else. But I'm already being here today, preparing myself for that, and really proactively being involved in many different fields of life, many activities, many things that make me really happy. I'm fortunate that I can afford myself to really be involved in certain activities, programs, and that really interest me, that fulfill me, that make me feel happy. So philanthropy is definitely one of them, and that's a field of life where I see myself very active after tennis.
If someone is going to be a world-class tennis player like yourself, they have to start very early. So what is the plan with your child? Is this like do they get a choice? Or they?
Well, yes. Well, I've been getting a question when there's no question whether my son will play tennis. It's the question of when he will start. So I will definitely not make my son play tennis. If you ask me now, I don't know if I would like him to go through the same thing.
Do you mean
as I did? Yeah, I do mean that. But again, as a parent, my only responsibility is to get him on the right path, to give him the education, the access to the right information, stimulative environment, and foremost and most importantly is for him to be happy. Whatever he wants to choose to do, I'm there to support him.
But if you think back about the childhood that you had,
yes,
and the intensity of that, the training,
yes,
is that something that you think that's exactly what I want for my kid, or I want to protect him from that?
Well, I would assume it's a combination. I don't, it's logical to expect that he will not go through the same kind of circumstances in the life path as I did, because luckily we can. We have a different life now. We can afford many other things, but I think it's important for him to have the awareness about the reality of his country and his people, and how people are, and children in his generation is growing up there, and so he's going to be very much involved in the education and foundations process. I think that's what both my wife and I would love him to do, to be involved a lot in the foundation. He's going to volunteer a lot in the programs.
Awesome. Novak Djokovic.
Thank you.
Really a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That is